So Far From Home sets up secret invasion very clearly, and there are spoilers here. So at the end of Spider-Man Far From Home, we learn that Nick Fury in the movie has actually been Talos, a Skrull, and Nick Fury himself has been in space on a station we're assuming that is S.W.O.R.D. Talos is the Skrull from Captain Marvel, who we learned actually isn't a bad guy like he is in the comics. And we learn that he and his wife Soren take place over him and Maria Hill for the duration of Spider-Man Far From Home and probably President. So with Captain Marvel, they didn't give Talos' daughter a name, which I think will go into place, which I've already seen some theories about for Captain Marvel, that she will eventually be a certain named character from the comics who starts the Skrull invasion. But I think it ties into this idea a bit better without having to include that part of the comics into. So we learned in the 8 months since Endgame that the Skrulls have slowly been being pushed into parts of society where they have presumably replaced certain members of society deemed on who Nick Fury deems important, for the most part. But just like Hydra 4 and so many other mini factions, there are probably bad Skrulls there. I think this is seeding that the Skrulls aren't necessarily good like Talos betrayed them, but like any entity, race, species, alien, dogs, cats, there's good and bad everywhere. I think this is seeding little bits of pieces more than the Hydra revealed in Captain America Winter Soldier, that we're going to have a Hydra-like-esque, aka secret invasion, prevail through this situation that Nick Fury set up by utilizing the Skrulls. And it's mainly because I don't think an entire alien race of people would agree to work under one man, let alone do his bidding as he needs and live in space when they themselves were looking for a planet. But like Hydra and Hive and the Skrulls in general from the comics, I do think that they're using Nick Fury's plan to implement their own, to use his good intentions to essentially have an invasion of sorts so they can get the planet. Skrull invasion. Even as refugees, there's bound to be some Skrulls who just want a new planet, not a new job that Nick Fury gave. Particularly with the end of Captain Marvel, the Skrulls had set off to go find their new homeworld, which I'm assuming will be explored more in the Captain Marvel sequel, so we're not sure where that is going. However, they are now back on Earth with permission from one of our active leaders who knows what he's doing, aka Nick Fury. But I think it's actually setting up secret invasion, especially combined with the seeds that we know from Captain Marvel. Yes, Talos and his wife would be very grateful for being saved, particularly by Captain Marvel and by extension Nick Fury, because he was there. And using the acceptance of a major leader without having to actually disguise themselves, which was the original plan, they are able to integrate themselves into society because they were told to. Now this part might be a tad speculating, but maybe they couldn't find another planet, and that's why they came back. They went out into the universe, and there's so many planets out there, surely there's one, but for some reason they couldn't have it. But here's this one planet where they have connections to, and one of the biggest leaders on the planet says, hey, you can come to my planet, just, you know, help me out. But some people, when you give permission, you just run with it. And I think this is where Nick Fury is fallible in this situation, because he allowed these people to come, and now they're integrating themselves into society, and figured, why not keep going with it? I think this is a point where we get our Hydra-esque twist in one of these films, where probably a character will die earlier on, but they're not actually dead. And I don't think it's a coincidence that the first year that we have the Skrulls introduced into the MCU is also the same year we get 2 movies with Skrulls in them, which means that there are definitely seeds being planted, albeit with a cameo in Far From Home. And I think for the Skrulls, that they're still here 30 years later is a sign that they've had, potentially, some of them, 30 years of planning on how to do this and how to invade Earth. Now in the comics, the Illuminati are the first ones to have a strike against the Skrulls. However, maybe instead of the Illuminati, it's the Shield, or rather, S.W.O.R.D. Even in the Secret Invasion comics, we also have ties to the new Avengers, which we've heard heavily speculated, along with the introduction of characters such as Stature, and Spider-Man being set up to be the new Iron Man. However, he can still just use the tech and help lead a team where things are needed. Probably New York again. Now, we all had theories coming out of Captain Marvel, but I think Far From Home definitely cemented this idea in my head for me, that this is how Secret Invasion would be set up. Because again, going back to Talos' daughter, they don't give her the name, but in the comics there is a certain queen that comes to Earth to take over, and it involves S.W.O.R.D. So I do think that they're laying the foundation for a secret invasion. But let me know what you think, and make sure to leave a like on this video if you agree or disagree. Just let me know, and let me know if you think I'm right down below.